Have you ever used a dating app or dating site and thought you found the perfect match, only to realize you were being catfished? It's a common problem that can leave you feeling hurt, betrayed, and unsure about who to trust. In this video, we'll discuss how to recognize catfishing, and most importantly, how to bounce back afterwards and discover the ability to love and trust again. For everyone who has ever been catfished or wishes to prevent it in the future, don't skip out. Please watch this video to the end. Now let's jump right into it, shall we? We all know what dating apps and sites are and how they work, right? They're there to help connect people who want to date and form relationships, or they connect people who want to casually hook up. Now hear me clearly, love, there's no judgment here, and there never will be. We're women, sisters, and a village of sorts, as our lives intersect through the same experiences, joys, and similar pains. Whether you're looking for a lifelong love connection, or a casual 24-hour dance in the clouds, it makes no difference. You deserve to be respected and treated rightly. No one, and we mean no one, has the right to use you, or hurt you, and then horribly dismiss you, or take advantage of you, because you're on dating sites. We're not advocating for, or against them, we're advocating for you. A healthy, stable, loved, and loving herself, you. First, let's understand what catfishing is. By definition, catfishing is creating a false identity or persona online, in order to deceive or manipulate someone. This includes using false profile photographs, providing false information about one's age, profession, or location, or even outright pretending to be someone else altogether. Catfishing can have major repercussions for those who are taken advantage of, including emotional trauma, significant money loss, and in some cases, even physical danger. It's critical that users of dating apps and sites understand this. There are many good and safe dating sites out there, but there are some that aren't as safe, so you need to do your due diligence and seek them out. Do the research for yourself. Don't just rely on a friend, family member, or co-worker referring a site to you, because it's the one they, or a friend uses. Now, how can you lower the risk of being catfished? Begin with this one thing: actually lay eyes on the person. This is a very important first step in any online relationship. You can ask him to video chat. He's either going to agree to it, or he's going to make excuses. He may agree to a video chat or in-person meeting only to cancel at the last minute, giving you a seemingly plausible reason. He may do this again and again, and you excuse it again and again, because he can sound so convincing and apologetic. However, you need to recognize this as a potential red flag, and proceed with caution. Also, you need to be careful about sharing personal information, such as your full name, address, or bank info, with this person until you've built trust, and are certain they're who they say they are. And definitely be careful about meeting up with someone, until you've taken the time to build your comfort level with them. If their story, or information about themselves doesn't add up, or has your spidey senses tingling, then it might be a sign they're not being completely honest with you. And we definitely don't advocate meeting with someone whose face you've never seen live, via Skype or FaceTime before. On that line, you may want to conduct your own background check. Google their name, check social media profiles, and any other information they've provided. Also, you can do a reverse image search on their profile picture, or ask them to send you a selfie, and reverse image search that. By doing so, you can verify their identity, and confirm they're who they say they are. If you don't know how to do a reverse image search, just Google it, and you'll find instructions, or there are actual sites where you can upload the photo, or the photo's URL, and reverse search that. Either way, it's very easy to do. Next, and this is critical. Always follow your intuition, and exercise a good dose of common sense when communicating with anyone online. Perhaps be a bit wary if he seems too perfect, or his profile seems too polished. It could be a red flag that they're not who they claim to be. Ultimately, you need to trust your gut. If something feels off, then you might need to distance yourself, take a step back, and reassess the situation. And perhaps be mindful of the old adage of, if he seems too good to be true, perhaps he is. And we can't recommend this any stronger. Make sure you're utilizing trustworthy dating sites. Do your research, check reviews, and not just the positive ones. You purposely want to look for negative reviews. You might be surprised at what you discover. You further want to see what the dating site you're considering have in place safety-wise. Things like adjustable privacy settings, what their security is like, and are there other protective protocols available and in place to protect you and your information. You want to choose only those dating apps or sites that have strong security measures and protocols set up. Then you want to report suspicious behavior. You want to report the person's profile to the dating app and block them if you believe they're catfishing you, or acting suspicious, or in any way have made you feel uncomfortable. Again, listen to your gut, follow your intuition. You're likely feeling off about something for a reason. It's crucial to keep in mind that while these tactics can help to protect you against being catfished, they're not foolproof. You need to always exercise caution when using dating apps or sites, and take precautions to safeguard your personal information and safety for yourself. Now, let's look at some common characteristics that a catfisher may exhibit. A big red flag can be their refusing to meet in person or via a video chat. Why doesn't he want you to see his face? He can further be evasive or secretive when you're asking him questions concerning his identity or personal information. If you're paying attention, you may notice his story doesn't quite add up. You may even pick up inconsistencies or contradictions in his story concerning his education, job, or where he says he lives, or the places he says he's vacationed or frequents. Then he may simply avoid answering personal questions, such as where he works or lives, and he may be evasive concerning his family, friends, or even what his hobbies may be. Even his online presence might be suspicious. He may be using faked social media profiles with a small number of friends or followers, or he may not have a social media presence at all. Now, who do catfishers typically choose as their victim? Catfishers frequently choose women who are vulnerable or receptive to their tricks. They target those who are alone or isolated and seeking company. They target women who have low self-esteem. Why? Because they may be more susceptible to flattery, compliments, and the attention. This is a primary tactic the catfisher can use to draw you in. They look for women who are emotionally vulnerable, perhaps having gone through a recent breakup, a divorce, or their victim may be dealing with family issues or even scarier, serious health issues. They target younger or more impressionable women who might not be as accustomed to social media or online dating. Hear me, and believe this, believe it with your whole heart, because I'm saying this to you with my whole heart. This wasn't your fault, none of it. He's a predator, plain and simple. And you don't often see a predator coming, for they slink about in the weeds, stalking and observing, looking for any weaknesses or openings before they pounce. No one would blame a person for being attacked by a dog that's lurking behind a tree. That person never saw the animal until it was on them. The same with being catfished. You can't be blamed for something you never saw coming. Something you never suspected would happen to you in a million years. Hindsight is 50-50, meaning you may see all the red flags now, after the fact, but not while you were in the moment. It's easy for one to be a Monday morning quarterback, but the game is played on the field, in real time. So please don't beat yourself up over it, or allow someone to beat you up and make you feel bad. Remember, scammers do this for a living. It's their full-time, 24/7 job of sorts, and they are extremely good at manipulating emotions and tugging at heartstrings. Understand this: you were purposely misled by someone who assumed a false identity to trick you. You couldn't properly assess the relationship because you never had the true information one would need to make informed decisions. Thus, it was harder for you to protect yourself from being duped and exploited. If there's a next time, you'll be better prepared to spot the red flags early in the relationship. Now, let's chat briefly concerning a common formula the catfisher may use to hook you. This can make him easier to spot in the future. We'll call him Dave. Dave typically trolls dating apps, sites, or social media platforms like Facebook for his victims. Once he's found his target, he'll be the sweetest thing. He's gone over your dating profile or your posts on Facebook, so he's a you expert. He'll work to bond with you over shared experiences or pains, or mistreatments, most of which will be fabricated lies. Remember, he's gone over your profile with a fine-tooth comb, and he's a master manipulator. It won't take him long to wheedle his way into your heart and your mind. It will be a whirlwind romance, and you'll be hopelessly caught up. First, the two of you were simply getting to know one another, and the next thing you know, he's professing his love. Then the relationship moves off the dating site or app, and you're emailing one another. Emails or some other form of communication that doesn't require Skype or FaceTime. He'll give you what sounds like plausible reasons for not being able to FaceTime with you. Perhaps you're on different time zones, it's daytime for you and the middle of the night for him. Eventually, he may ask you for intimate photos or video, but for some reason he won't reciprocate. Or if he does, it will be a neck-down shot. Not his face. He's a really bad photographer, or he's very shy. You'll talk about meeting in person, and perhaps even make concrete plans, but he somehow always cancels. His many reasons sounding plausible at the time. He's spun such a tale, you end up sympathizing with his dilemma, and shedding tears with him. Then eventually he'll ask for money. Likely something small, a medical or other emergency. Then he'll ask again and again. Until one day you wake up and realize you've given him thousands. Joe isn't much better. He never asks for money, his endgame is simply to play with your affections. His payoff isn't money in the end, but a sick thrill from a secret only he knows. That he's playing you and you've fallen for it. That you're hopelessly in love with him, a totally made-up caricature. Then lastly there's Ivan, unlike Dave who's looking for money, or Joe who just wants to play games. Ivan is lonely, has problems connecting socially with people, or considers himself physically unattractive, so he creates a whole not a persona that's none of these things. Online he can be someone who's brave, outspoken, and put together. Regardless of the scenario, it's important for you to realize that falling for a catfish is not a reflection on your intelligence, or that you're gullible. Regardless of one's intelligence, or level of education, many people have been the victim of catfishing. Understand, catfishing is not about how smart the victim is, or how supposedly gullible the victim is. At the very heart it's a deception. The whole drive for the catfisher is playing on and manipulating the victim's feelings and vulnerabilities to gain their trust and attention. They're shrewd, cunning, and this makes it difficult for their victims to recognize the deception, for some victims, for years. So don't you dare blame yourself, or take responsibility for the catfisher's behavior. Let's get up, brush ourselves off, recover and learn from this. Take steps to protect yourself in the future, and seek support to heal from any emotional damage caused by the deception. Now for the truly hard part of being catfished, falling in love with the man who catfished you. What do you do with the emotions, along with the mixture of feeling perplexed, wounded, and betrayed? You own your feelings. You let yourself feel them, but you also keep in mind that the person who catfished you was not the person he purported himself to be. In essence, he's not the man you fell in love with. Tell yourself that the relationship was built on deception. He was acting a part, from the first word to the last one, he was pretending with you. Though everything you felt and said, and acted, was real and genuine. This can unfortunately make dealing with your feelings for this person a challenging and complex process, because at the end of the day you're still confused and in love. Hear me, it's healthy for you to recognize and process your feelings, including any love or affection you might still have for the person who catfished you. Would you believe it may even be beneficial? You're not a robot, and love isn't a switch you can just turn on and off. It's crucial though, for you to realize that the connection you thought you felt between the two of you wasn't real. The relationship was not real. No part of it was ever real. It couldn't be. You can't have an honest, healthy relationship with someone who's been lying to you from the very beginning. Accept that he was never who he claimed to be. Accept, regardless of what he may be saying to get you back, that he was never in love with you. Whether you're spiritual or not, this is what the Bible has to say about love. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. This is how a man is to love you. I say this with tears in my eyes because we all of us women want this love. And dare say with me, we shall not settle for less. Dear heart, love yourself through this. Be compassionate to yourself. You feeling humiliated or ashamed after being catfished is quite normal. Yet it's crucial to be kind to yourself and not place blame on yourself. Keep in mind that you were not to blame for the lie and the subterfuge, and that you are not the only one who has faced this kind of betrayal. Sadly, being catfished is more common than you might think. Let me say this, for your health and healing you may want to consider confiding what's happened with a close friend or trusted family member. Spending time with supportive family and friends can help you feel less alone and isolated, and provide you with emotional support. You may want to consider seeking professional help. A therapist can give you strategies to help you process your emotions and aid in the healing process. There's also support groups out there for victims of betrayal or catfishing. Remember, being catfished can be a painful experience, but it doesn't have to define you or your ability to love and trust again. It's important to seek support, practice self-compassion, and take small steps towards rebuilding your confidence and trust in others. Remember that not everyone on dating apps or sites is trying to deceive you, and there are many people out there who are looking for authentic connections based on honesty and mutual respect. So don't give up on finding love, and don't let being catfished hold you back. With time, patience, and a willingness to take risks, you can learn to love and trust again. Thanks for tuning into our video. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more great content on love, relationships, and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.